Okay. So first we will be discussing 4 contractions. Okay. I hope we discussed about contraction in one of the classes. We will be discussing it today. So today we will be discussing 4 contractions again. So the contractions that we are going to discuss today are aren't, can't, couldn't, and didn't. Okay, these are the 4 contractions we're going to discuss today. So aren't is the contraction of are not, aren't, are not, can't, cannot, couldn't, could not. So these are not the pronunciation, okay? Aren't is the contraction of are not. Can't is the contraction of cannot. Couldn't is the contraction of could not. And didn't is a contraction of did not. I hope you all received the PDF that I shared in the accent training group.
Ma'am,
Right?
can you send the audio?
Yes, I will send the audio. Okay. So I will send the audio of all the 4 that we discussed today in the group. Okay.
Okay,
So
ma'am.
that you can
Okay,
just
ma'am.
refer to it. Yes. So yes. So the first contraction. Abigail is here. So the first contraction is. The first contraction is.
Aunt.
Yes.
Aunt.
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 Is a contraction of are not. There are 2 types of contractions actually. There are two types of contraction. One that we are discussing right now, where the letters get replaced with an apostrophe, where we replace letters with an apostrophe. So first example. So here, which all letters got replaced with an apostrophe?
And
Which all letters got replaced here? Aren't is a contraction of are not.
are not.
Oh, okay. Oh got replaced with an apostrophe. Oh got replaced with an apostrophe here, right? Yes. Then which is the second example?
Cannot.
Yes. Can't is a contraction of cannot. Yes.
Cannot.
It's a contraction of cannot. And which all letters got replaced here? Which all letters? Oh, carefully and tell me which all letters got replaced with an yes, very good. These 2 letters, right? N. Yes, very good. N and O got replaced with an apostrophe. Yes, N and O got replaced with an apostrophe, right?
Yes.
Yes. Aunt,
Then go.
can't. Yes.
Can't.
Yes. Aunt, can't.
Didn't.
Yes. Which is the next one?
Didn't.
Didn't.
Yes.
Didn't.
Didn't.
Did not. Didn't.
Did not.
Did not. Did not.
Didn't.
Did not.
Did not.
Did not.
Oh, it's not there.
Oh, it's not there.
Yes, O is not there. Instead of
it's
O,
not there.
1 minute. I would like to tell you, this is what an apostrophe is. Okay.
You know.
You know, right?
Yes.
Here, instead of O, we can see an apostrophe. So O got replaced. O got replaced. Yes.
Oh.
Next example.
Cannot.
Can't. Doesn't. Yes.
Doesn't. Hello. Doesn't.
Okay, does,
Doesn't. Does
does
not.
not,
Does
does not. Which all letters?
not there.
Okay.
Can.
O, O, O got replaced, right?
Yes. Ma'am.
So while reading the story, we will again we will encounter a few more contractions other than the ones we learned right now. Okay.
Excuse
Okay.
me.
Yes, dear.
What we will say are not.
Aunt. Aunt. So the pronunciation of this contraction. So 1 minute, 1 minute. So the pronunciation of this contraction, sometimes pronunciation of some of the contractions is really difficult. So you will not be able to pronounce it correctly in the first try itself. So it is very necessary, it's very important to practice the right pronunciation. Okay. So I will send the pronunciation of all the 4 contractions that we discussed today in this class. So I want you guys to listen to the audio and then practice the pronunciation of all the 4.
Ma'am,
Okay, yes, dear.
ma'am, can we write in a notebook?
If you want, yes, dear.
Ma'am.
Then
Yes,
we
dear.
can study from that.
Okay. Okay.
Ma'am.
Yes, dear.
Ma'am, in Saturday, I didn't get the accent training class.
You were not able to join, right?
Yes.
Yes, some
In my
technical issue.
mother's phone, there is no symbol of dollar.
There was some technical issue. Now I guess most of the problem is sorted. Okay. So now let's move on to our story, right?
Yes.
Now we know
Yes.
contractions. Yes, please do practice. Now let's move on to our story. The mole. Yes, 1 minute, dear. I'm not able to open it. Okay. Okay. A monster out of a molehill by Neil Levin. Right.
Yes.
So Alan is absent. Anika Ishwar is absent. Anchita Sunil is absent. Arshika is absent. Aidin is absent. Catherine.
Present.
Catherine.
Present.
Yes, Catherine, please unmute yourself.
Ma'am.
Yes, dear.
Ma'am.
Yes. Is that Catherine?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, Catherine, I want you to read the first set, starting from the title and till, let me just mark it again. So let me just mark it again, okay? Okay. Yes. Darren, not Darren. Okay, Catherine, I hope you could see the marking. I think it's pretty clear. Yes. Start reading, Catherine.
A monster out of a molehill by Neil Levin. One morning when Dominic woke up, his eyeglasses were missing. He was so done he didn't put them safely on his bedside table.
Okay, 1 minute, Catherine. I want you to read slowly. Okay, there, as you could see, there is comma, there is full stop, right? There is question mark and all in the paragraph. So I would like you to stop. I want you to stop in between. Okay. So when there is a comma, when there is a full stop and all, pause there. Then start reading. So one morning when Dominic woke up, his eyeglasses were missing. Instead of reading one morning when Dominic woke up, his eyeglasses were missing. Just pause there. One morning when Dominic woke up, his eyeglasses were missing. He was certain he'd put them safely on his bedside table. So hid. It is a contraction, right?
Yes.
Yes, he did
Yes.
or he would. It is a contraction of he did and he would. Yes.
Abigail is present.
Who?
Abigail.
Abigail is present. Noted, dear. So one morning when Dominic woke up, his eyeglasses were missing. He was certain he'd put them safely on his bedside table, as any mole who wore eyeglasses would do. Yes, Catherine, please start reading once more.
A Monster Out of a Molehill by Neil Levin. One morning when Dominic woke up, his eyeglasses were missing. He was certain he did put them safely on his
Not
bedside.
he did or he would, he'd put them.
He'd put them safely on his bedside table, as any mole who wore eyeglasses would do. Then he remembered he might have left them outside last night after gazing at stars, or maybe by the pond when he took them off for an evening dip. In fact, they could be anywhere. Dominic climbed out of his molehill and looked around. He didn't find his eyeglasses, but what he did find was a terrible hairy monster bursting out
Bursting
of
out
the
of
next
the
molehill.
hairy
Next,
monster bursting.
bursting out of the next molehill over, and it was charging right toward him. What could be worse without his eyeglasses? Dominic uh, charge,
Even tell
couldn't even tell what kind of monster this was, but it looked like
something he had never seen before.
Dominic started a
Running.
loot.
Dominic started running,
It wavered a story,
but he stumbled. What is it?
stumbled,
And tripped.
and tripped over a tree root. The monster was following him. It waved its sturdy arms and
Wiggled.
wiggled its long sharp claws. Dominic
Forced.
up
Not
and
forced
scooted
it.
on,
Forced.
forced himself up and scooted onward. After a few moments, he stopped to catch his breath. He
Stopped. Not
stole a
stopped. Not stopped. Stopped.
stopped to catch his breath. He
Breath.
stole. He
What is it? What is it? He stopped to catch his breath.
breath. He stole a glance at the creature.
At the creature.
Their three heads at the creature. Were there two heads, three heads? He couldn't tell, nor did he care to stay and count. He hustled forth
Hustle
again.
forth again. Yes. So other than hid, we also encountered another contraction. Couldn't, right? Could not, couldn't, could not, hid, right? Yes. So next, yeah.
Ma'am, can I read?
Who is this?
Ma'am,
I am. So please listen. We are following attendance order. So I will be calling your name based on the attendance list. Okay. Aiden is absent. Catherine is done. Deva Binoy is absent. David.
Ma'am, you
Yes,
did
ma'am.
give Abigail.
absent. No, David is present.
David is present. David.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, David. I want you to read the second set. Okay. Yes, dear. Starting from here till the end.
My eyeglasses. Dominic said. He took them
No, not from there. From the monster was approaching quickly till have been any clearer.
the monster was
Approaching.
approaching.
Okay. So Who is this?
Approach.
David, just repeat after me, okay?
Okay.
The monster was approaching quickly.
The monster was approaching quickly.
What is it? Approaching.
Approaching.
Yes. Dominic saw it had big,
Dominic saw it had big,
squiggly tentacles. Squiggly.
quiggly tentacles
Yes. Coming out of its long,
coming out of its long,
pointy snout.
pointy snout,
And it was shouting his name.
and it was shouting his name.
Dominic, it yelled.
Dominic, it yelled.
Let me catch up to you.
Let me catch up to you.
No,
No,
Dominic cried.
Dominic cried.
He ran even faster,
He ran even faster,
but slipped on a rock
but slipped on a rock
and tumbled face first
and stumbled face first
into a puddle of mud.
into a puddle of mud.
The monster was almost upon him.
The monster was
Almost.
almost upon him.
Dominic
Dominic
couldn't bear it any longer.
couldn't bear it any longer.
Yes, couldn't. Another contraction, right?
Yes.
Yes, couldn't is also a contraction. So Dominic couldn't bear it any longer.
Dominic couldn't bear it any longer.
He sat up
He sat up
and covered his face,
and covered his face,
only allowing himself
only allowed in himself
to peek between his fingers.
to peek between his fingers.
Yes,
Fingers.
Sarah, yes, that's exactly what he did, right, Sarah? The monster's arm was reaching forward,
The monster's arm was reaching forward,
and there was something in its hand.
and there was something in his hands.
My eyeglasses,
My eyeglasses,
Dominic said.
Dominic said.
He took them
He took them
and placed them on carefully,
and placed them on carefully,
as any mole who wore eyeglasses would do.
as any mole who wore eyeglasses would do.
Wasn't.
Contraction,
Contraction.
yes, next line, right? Next line. Okay, as any mole who wore eyeglasses would do. And the monster came into focus.
And the monster came into focus.
Only it wasn't
Only it wasn't
a monster at all. Again, another contraction. Wasn't, was not, right? Yes, very good. So, yes, only it wasn't a monster at all. Yes,
at all.
Ma'am,
yes. It was
your sound
not-
is very low.
Didn't.
It was his star-nosed friend, Sebastian.
It was his star-nosed friend Sebastian.
I found this on your porch last night.
I found this on your porch last night.
And I didn't.
Didn't.
Right?
Didn't. I was going to tell didn't.
Yes, I didn't want anything
Ma'am,
to
now
happen
in
to them.
this
I
Laughing.
didn't want anything to happen to him.
He said.
He said.
Dominic gave a sigh of relief.
Dominic gave a sigh,
Give, not give, gave.
a sigh
Sigh
of
of relief.
relief.
He realized his buddy
He realized his body
was just looking out for him.
was just looking out for him.
It couldn't.
Couldn't.
It couldn't
Yes, contraction. Yes. It
Two
couldn't
contraction.
have been any clearer.
have been any clearer.
Okay. Okay, Devach, I want you to practice more, okay?
Ma'am, can we write then study the contraction?
Yes, dear, you can. Okay, so do it. Practice the right pronunciation. Yes, Abigail.
Ma'am,
Yes, dear.
can I read?
It's time for us to wind up the class, Abigail. So I will let you read next time, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So guys, it's time for us to wind